Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to the Day 1 port review of Skyrim Special Edition. Well, technically Day 2, because I had to work yesterday, 8-hour shift. But anyway, I was able to get a couple hours in late night and early morning, and, well, here are my thoughts. So, the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition is basically a graphics overhaul of the original game. It's available for free if you owned the DLC and Skyrim, all the DLC, before the special edition was launched. So if you have it, if you qualify, it should be in your library right now. You can go check it out and download it. If it's not in your library, chances are you're not getting it for free. Even if you had a key that you never redeemed, tough luck, unfortunately. But anyway, it's available for $40. This is an interesting way of getting back into Skyrim. It works with all of your previous saves, but I kind of want to just start out fresh. And, I've been playing for a couple hours, and I've been getting back into it. I've never really been too much into Skyrim, especially after the first 20 hours in my original game. I kind of just modded after that. But after Fallout 4's disappointment, I do need another open-world game to get back into that I somewhat enjoy. And while Skyrim's far from New Vegas and Fallout 3, it is scratching a bit of the itch I had. So, let's just get right into it. Resolution options, these change a little bit when you enable windowed mode. Now, there's no ultra-wide or what seems to be 4:3 options here. But the borderless windowed mode, while it gives you less options, there is a 2560 by 1440 option. It's just not enabled right now through HDMI for some reason. But, and this actually just popped up, and I've never seen this before in the other ones, but borderless windowed mode actually works now, which is kind of nice. The only problem with borderless windowed mode, though, is, one, the sound keeps playing even after you're tabbed out to another screen, and two, when you alt-tab, you actually have to hold it down for a couple more seconds before your cursor becomes free of your main screen. It's a little annoying, but you'll get used to it. So, options menu-wise, a lot of options have been removed from both the config, the INI, and the launch screen windows here. But there are a bunch of newer options to take their place, like more demanding ones. All these, screen space reflection, zombie occlusion, all this stuff right here. Although I believe one of these was in the original. I don't know about both. Object fade, actor fade, grass fade, item fade, all this stuff. The game looks pretty nice when you have everything maxed out, especially at a distance. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of pop-in. There is some if you're looking for it. And sometimes it can be very obvious, but that is a little rare. But for the most part, you're generally going to be fine. So let's launch right into it. So they ported a lot of the mods over from Bethesda.net, or into Bethesda.net, and you can link your account here so that you can access them. So you'll have a lot of mods out of the box. The only problem is that I can't get that working. The creation kit's going to be released. Oh, look at that. MSI Afterburner finally works. Oh my god, it wasn't working like the first 6 times, so I assumed it didn't work. But yeah, the modding scene should get a lot better as time goes on, but you do have like stuff like alternate start. And because it's a graphical update, it feels like you have a lot of those graphical mods built into the system. Now, speaking of overlays and things like that, I've been having a few issues. So MSI Afterburner just started working now. But Steam in-game isn't working, and my media keys on my keyboard, my SteelSeries Shift, aren't working either, so I can't pause and play music while I'm playing Skyrim. So one of the really cool things I gotta give Bethesda credit for in the Special Edition is that you have organized saves. So not only do your old saves import over, but you also have the ability to have all your saves sorted based on your character name. So I've created a character here called Jacob, and here are all his saves. Of course, Prisoner, that's your starter name. It kind of autosaves, so it's kind of weird. But it's really nice to have the ability to switch between characters with ease without having to carefully look through a bunch of saves in one big menu, which you still have. You can go to all saves from here. But it really is nice to have that option. Really cool, Bethesda. Alright, so I'm loading up Whiterun here to show you guys the graphical effects at night, and they do look quite pretty, especially in the daytime, actually, when there's a lot of god rays going on through the trees. It's definitely a pretty update, but it does still feel lacking. For example, hair quality. looks identical to the game when it was released in 2011. Some textures, same case with them. Some other textures, pretty good. But it feels inconsistent, and it feels more like a mod pack than a true special edition. Pretty good mod pack, though. Generally speaking, the colors pop out a lot more, and things from a distance just look a lot better than they used to. Motion blur, you're going to have to turn it off via the INI file. 60 FPS frame cap is still a thing. If you go beyond that, it'll glitch out the physics. UI is still garbage like it was 5 years ago. I'm going to see if I can try to get some Sky UI or see if it's been ported yet. I don't know the status of that because it did require the script extender. Generally speaking, it's a nice little update, but I feel that if you don't have it, it's not really worth getting. If you do have it, it can rekindle an interest in Skyrim, and you might find yourself replaying it, as I have. But things like animations and lip syncing, it's all the same. Gameplay, of course, it's pretty much the same as it was 5 years ago. Again, it's more of a graphical overhaul and nothing like a remaster, right? Like, I feel like remaster means... Like, they kind of use remaster, remake interchangeably in marketing terms. I feel like remaster is for when you update the graphics, update some of the gameplay, do a lot of tweaks here and there. And a remake is when you want to kind of tell that same story, but just different assets entirely, maybe even different characters. And, you know, retexture is pretty much what a lot of these companies have been releasing. And this feels like that. Not as bad as BioShock Infinite, but there are a lot of performance issues for people. Outside at 1440p, in the daytime, I was struggling to hit 60 FPS outside of Helgen when I first left Helgen. Right now it's fine, but performance on my CPU is just pretty lackluster. You're noticing it's constantly below 40%, oftentimes below 30. And the GPU is just fluctuating right now. Now when I get into the open area, it should go up to 100%. I feel like MSI Afterburn's just glitching out right now. Here we go. Like it's staying at a high percentage rate. Especially when I look off into the distance here. But, again, if you do have it, what's the harm in playing it? It's about 12 gigs, not too bad, but I really feel like Bethesda could have done more. Another annoying thing is that, you know, I built my, like, mini PC downstairs, and it still has to be navigated with the mouse and keyboard on the launch menu. Like, if you want to get into the game, you can't use the controller to, like, dive right into it. You have to use a keyboard to get through that, which is annoying. And there are still some graphical glitches, and some people have been reporting a lot of really weird bugs, like at the beginning with the carriage scene. People would just log in, and their carriage would just be spazzing out. It was hilarious, but I do think Skyrim's worth getting back into if you like the game, or if you want to just try it one more time with this update, because it gives you a lot of features that you would otherwise have to mod into the original. If you don't own the special edition, well, I'd give it a wait for a sale, because I don't think it's worth it. Again, if you can master the learning curve, you can get Skyrim regular edition, vanilla, to run very close to this. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Sorry about the late port review. I'm out.